Hello, welcome to Bendigo IPTV. Following last night's council meeting, my pleasure this morning to welcome Councillor Elise Chapman. Welcome, Elise.
Oh, thanks, Dennis. Thanks for the invite.
No worries. I missed last night's meeting, or half of it, on Phoenix Radio, which is a really good thing to be able to tune in there in terms of the average ratepayer being able to keep up to date. One of the issues that was put to council last night, though, related to some sheds in Lockwood and a planning issue around that. What was the starting point there, and what was the outcome with that particular one?
Yes, so that application was a really difficult one. What it was is an application to put two sheds, substantial size sheds onto a property. I went out and visited the property, and what a magnificent little farm that is. I've never seen such a clean, neat, tidy, beautiful little property. And that gentleman there does some car reupholstering and it has a company called Tough Covers. Right. So he already has something going on there. Now, in that immediate vicinity, there is about 22 different businesses, all within about 2 kilometres. My understanding is that all of them, bar 2, are in that same zoning. So even though the officer's report suggested or told us the recommendation was that we were to refuse, councillors decided to approve that application. So what if he's going to be doing is he's got a whole lot of machinery that needs to be shedded. So, you know, there's a huge amount, plus he's also got hay as well to feed his animals. And so he also just wanted to house some long-term caravans on a long-term basis. So it's not like people will be coming and going every day. It's for those people around town, and many people have a caravan. And you
don't have anywhere to store it at home.
Correct, correct. And they might only use it once or twice a year. So, you know, it's not like, you know, if you had half a dozen caravans there, you know, then, you know, if people were only coming out once or twice a year to collect and return those caravans, you know, it's not a whole lot of traffic. So I didn't think that there would be, you know, very much impact.
Well, it's funny you say that, Elise. Again, I didn't hear this part of the debate on the radio, but it's reported this morning as having Councillor Barry Lyons saying it's one of the most difficult things he's had to vote on, and it seems such a straightforward thing. Where was the confusion, or where were the difficulties with what council executive officers recommended, as opposed to what councils ended up doing?
Well, it was okay. So I'll just go back a step. Throughout the week, we requested an alternative motion to the one to refuse, and officers wouldn't provide that to us. They just said no, it has to be refused, on the grounds that it was under
a planning thing or something.
Yeah, it was a planning issue. Council officers see it as a store, and under that heading is storage, and so it was a prohibited use under the zone. And so, you know, because he was storing a whole lot of all of his other equipment, and this was only going to be a tiny part of it, and there's already a business there, and I don't see it as my interpretation of a store is different to that.
With traffic coming and going.
Correct. It's like a shop, you know, and that isn't the case in this one.
So you think it's been a good outcome? He had
previously made an application, my understanding, which was going to be approved without notifying that that's what his intention with the few caravans were, with a handful. And so by doing the honest thing and saying the truth and telling the council what he was going to do, you know, the officers decided that that it couldn't go ahead. So at the last minute in our pre-meeting, we had a bit of a discussion, and I asked, you know, first of all, I let it be known I was disappointed that I wasn't given an alternative motion. When you ask for something, you expect that to happen, and that was denied us. And then the planning director said, well, if council decide to approve it, you can just say it's approved with conditions, and she said she'd add the conditions today. So it was initially, you know, the motion was moved that it be approved with conditions. We're yet to know what the officer's going to what conditions they're going to put on, but that's how that all panned out. It was really difficult. It was really difficult. But there are 22 businesses, and I know that Councillor Cox stood up and said, oh, well, the majority of those are actually in farming zone. It's my understanding that only, I don't know, somewhere between 2 and 5 are actually in the farming zone, and the other 17 odd places are actually in the rural living zone. So I didn't think that that information was actually correct. I don't have the exact figures, but you know, it was made out to be that all of the businesses were in farming, or a substantial amount of them were in farming zone. I don't believe that is the case. And I stood up and debated that, and we got that across the line. So,
well, it'll be interesting to see what conditions the officers come back with, I guess, too, for the for that developer.
Be very interesting.